But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, right now I'm streaming while the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Miami Dolphins. They're playing the Miami Dolphins. A lot of people are bent out of shape about it because it's exclusive to the Peacock streaming service, which is NBC Universal's streaming service. And I know I keep doing victory laps about this, although it might be necessary at this point because, I mean, this is a tweet from Rokana, but we need to actually back up for a minute because it looks like net neutrality might be coming back. I guess it's in discussion amongst people within the Biden administration. I remember reading reports about this months ago, but here's a story from the Wall Street Journal. The Biden FCC's plan to break 5G.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs!
Rosen Warsaw wants to reimpose net neutrality rules that are illegal and unnecessary.
Blow it out your ass.
This is by the editorial board from September 26th of last year, 2023. Remember predictions that Trump's Federal Communications Commission Chair Ajit Pai would break the internet by rescinding the Obama net neutrality rules? Oh boy, do I remember. This is one of the famous Rokana memes. They were all freaking out. A lot of people were freaking out. One of the things they were freaking out about it was going to be like the end of video streaming as we know it. Because you'll have these big, greedy internet service providers, especially ones like Comcast. They might come out with their own app, like, say, Peacock, where they make a library of all of the exclusive NBC Universal content, movies, TV shows. And if you're using Comcast as an internet service provider, Comcast, which owns NBC Universal, then Comcast, they might say, well, if you have Disney or if you have Warner Brothers, HBO Max or whatever, we might just charge you out the ass for it to drive you to our app, the Peacock app. Of course, that never fucking happened. And a reason why we can tell this did not happen is because now we have the opposite problem. And I've talked about this before. I know I'm doing another victory lap.
Well, excuse me, princess.
But now we're at a point, it's 2023. This is what, from like 2017? Rokana was tweeting this nonsense out. And people even at the time pointed out like, oh, with net neutrality, you get all this stuff with one price, $54.99. Yet, if you add up all of these packages that he's freaking out about, it'd actually be cheaper than the all-in-one price. But now we have the opposite problem. There are so many damn streaming services that people are upset about it. They're like, God, well, we have Netflix, we have Disney Plus, we have the HBO Max, whatever the fuck it's called these days. Have all these different streaming services, the Paramount Plus app, Amazon Prime. Now we got Peacock. Well, now if you want to watch the NFL playoffs, at least one of the games, the Kansas City Chiefs, Miami Dolphins, it's on the Peacock app, and a lot of football fans are losing their shit over it. They're like, I got to pay $6 whole for a 30-day subscription of this app so I can watch one football game. The internet somehow still works and is now even faster. Oh, really? Yet Biden's regulators plan to fix it by reimposing political control.
That's just not smart.
Democratic FCC Commissioner Anna Gomez was sworn in Monday, and Chair Jessica Rosen Warsaw is off and running with a new 3-2 majority. On Tuesday, she announced plans to reinstate the Obama regulatory regime that reclassified broadband providers as common carriers under Title II of the 1934 Communications Act. Net neutrality has long been a rallying cry on the left. Progressives, or as I like to call them, economic fascists, claimed during the Obama years that broadband providers had to be regulated as utilities so that they would not slow or block websites. Yet providers were not doing so then, and they have not since the Trump FCC scrapped the Title II regime in 2018. Instead, Americans have experienced faster broadband speeds. By the end of 2019, 94% of Americans had access to high-speed fixed and mobile broadband, up from 77% in 2015. Between 2016 and 2019, the number of rural Americans lacking high-speed internet fell nearly 50%. Broadband investment dipped after the Obama FCC imposed Title II in 2015, but the Title II rollback and 5G rollout have produced a surge of investment. Last year, the industry spent $102 billion on capital expenditure, up from $76 billion in 2016. Prices for internet service have risen 7% since January 2020, much less than the 18.2% increase in the Consumer Price Index. Contrast this high-speed U.S. leap to Europe, where broadband providers are regulated as utilities. By 2020, U.S. rural fixed broadband deployment led all areas in the European Union. The digital divide between Europe and the United States has been growing as investment per household is 3 times higher in the United States. Americans today can enjoy streaming their favorite shows without service interruptions that are common in Europe. The faster U.S. speeds and greater broadband access have enabled more technological innovation, including in artificial intelligence. Farmers can use automated and connected equipment to collect data and grow crops more efficiently. So what problem is Ms. Rosenworcel trying to fix? Title II is not needed to prevent carriers from slowing down service or charging websites more for faster speeds, since they are not doing either. Her regulation would not address social media censorship, since big tech would not be covered. And I remember at the time saying that people on the right are going to try to impose net neutrality standards essentially on social media companies, whereas people from the left want to impose it on ISPs. But Title II could provide the FCC an opening to regulate rates, though Ms. Rosenworcel says she will not. The agency might also seek to prohibit providers from giving customers free access to streaming services on grounds that this favors some content providers. AT&T provides Max service at no charge to customers with unlimited plans. Speaking of which, the reason why I have Peacock now is not because I'm a big fan of Peacock, but because back in October, I went to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. And if you bought a ticket for Horror Nights, they gave you a free 6-week subscription to Peacock. So I'm definitely a beneficiary of one of these deals. You go to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, which are not cheap tickets, but yeah, the 6-month subscription has definitely been a pretty nice bonus, I gotta say. Preventing companies from offering perks to consumers cannot be popular. Then again, as FTC Commissioner Chair Lena Khan showed by suing Amazon on Tuesday, progressives are happy to ignore consumer welfare. Their goal is to impose more political control over the economy. Hence again why I call these goons economic fascists and not progressives, because there is nothing progressive about economic fascism.
You're goddamn right.
And they're dusting off ancient laws to do so. And without proper legal authority, former Obama Solicitor General Donald Verrilli and Ian Heath Gershengorn argued in a paper last week that neither the Communications Act nor the 1996 Telecommunications Act unambiguously authorized the FCC to reclassify broadband providers as common carriers. They say doing so would violate the Supreme Court's major question doctrine. This means the new rule without Congress's authorization is likely to lose in court. All right. The contentious litigation leading to that inevitable result would waste countless resources for government, industry, and the public, while distracting all parties from more promising efforts, they wrote. All right, so there we go. It looks like dropping the net neutrality regulation, not only did it not lead to the hellscape that the who's who of socialist and economic fascist dipshits out there said it would, but it looks like it also enabled more innovation, encouraged more innovation in technology.